Who are the top 5 traders of all time?
I was watching an episode with Lethal Shooter, and y'all was talking about the best shooting guards of all time, and that took me down a rabbit hole of like my top 5 traders.
Yeah,
So number one, I have he's not from PG County, but Paul Tudor Jones. I will put as number one. So in 1987, I think Paul had one of the biggest returns of all time. And Paul is still making like on average $30 million a month from trading futures. He's the Michael Jordan futures trader. Number two, Stanley Druckenmiller. Number three, John Paulson. Number three, Steve Cohen's. And number five, even though some people may not classify him as a trader, Jim Simons from Renaissance Capital.
wow.
So he's the man who really got me into algorithmic trading, investing, building a system that will work in all markets. So if you take the strategies from each of these people and put them into one, you'll pretty much be unstoppable on the trading and investing side. Like Jim and John Paulson probably are better swing traders. Paul Tudor Jones is a better day trader. Simons is a master at the long term. So if you put a hybrid approach, I think that is like an amazing dream team to model your trading and investing career after.
Okay, that's a great list.
Thank
So
you.
you went from a trading list. I went from investor.
Okay.
I did top 5 investors because I'm wondering. I didn't hear the Oracle's name in there, but I'm listening to you. You're talking about traders.
Yeah, I'm talking about traders. Yeah.
Okay. So in no particular order. Well, actually, particular order. I had Warren Buffett as number one.
Hefe.
Yeah, this was an interesting statistic. Berkshire Hathaway has generated an average of annual returns of over 20% since 1965.
For a multi-billion-dollar fund.
That's
insane.
Number one.
Yeah.
I had Jack Bogle as number two.
Yeah.
You're not familiar with who Jack Bogle is.
Jack.
Founder of the Vanguard Group, which kind of is like the forefront of index fund trading.
Yeah.
Right. And well, not even trading, investing.
Investing. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, there would be no indexing.
There would be no index funds.
Yeah.
So like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take Ian's strategy of 2 tech, 2 index, but also the thing we like to do is you invest in ETFs.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I put Larry Fink on it.
Larry's a beast, yo.
So Larry Fink
Yeah.
is, and we spoke about him last week, the head of BlackRock. He's a driving force of creating kind of the ETF trading, right? So they have the world's largest asset management with $8 trillion in assets. $8 trillion
under management. And only getting bigger.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see that happen slowing down anytime soon. Then at 4, I had Peter Lynch. I thought you might have had him.
Yeah, I love Peter.
Peter Lynch managed the Fidelity Magellan Fund from 1977 to 1990. This is the crazy stat. The fund grew from 1977 to 1990 from 18 million to 14 billion. So he
has some of the best investment advice of all time. Any book or video you can study about him on YouTube, please absorb it and memorize it.
Now I had George Soros as number 5.
Okay.
So he was my number 5, one of the greatest investors of all time. He started, I mean, kind of the forefather in currency trading, had one of the most outstanding trades in the history of mankind with the British pound in 1992. But then I had an honorable mention, right? Because I had Warren at 1.
Okay.
I had to put Charlie Munger at honorable mention 6.
I agree.
And the reason, because it is when we think about trading and we think about investing in today's day and age and kind of things that we've been stressing is, and here's his model, right? Find companies with sustainable competitive advantages.
Yep.
Check. They have a strong management team. Check. And the price is significantly below the company's intrinsic value, right? So we want to buy low, sell high.
Sell high, make sure they have good management. And Charlie doesn't get enough credit. I often say he may be a better investor than Buffett in some regards, but Charlie's like Dame. Like, you may not want to bring back in the day like Charlie to every meeting because he was almost too brutal. But their partnership has been amazing. And the interesting part, even with George Soros, Druckenmiller worked underneath Soros when that trade was being executed. So that list that you have is perfect, for sure.
I had another honorable mention, and it made me think back into your episode when we talked about the Franklin Templeton Fund. So I'm like, maybe this could be another one, but I stopped at 6. Those are my 6. Those are investors. So I like that you had trading. I went from the investing side.
Yeah. Shotty, you have 3 or 5 that you like all time?
I mean, I think, just highlight moments. Everybody, I guess he said the investors, you said the traders. So I'll just go on some highlights that we were able to capture. Mark Cuban, one of the greatest trades of all time, when he shorted
Absolutely.
Yahoo.
Yeah.
He purchased the company. I think he made $1 billion off of that. That was an extremely impressive trade that he did. Dr. Dan Berry.
My boy.
Yeah, Dave Berry. Who shorted that's what they
When I
made.
got that text, I was like, wait, what?
No. With the Big Short.
Got you. Okay, yeah.
His name is Dan Berry.
Michael
Right?
Burry.
Michael Burry.
Michael Burry.
Michael Burry.
I thought you said Dave Barry, somebody different. Yeah.
Michael Burry, from the Big Short. He's actually a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Who, it was a few of them, but he stands out as somebody who saw the financial crash that was happened in 2008 before it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had to create instruments for them to short the mortgage industry, the mortgage-backed securities. They didn't even have the instruments that they could actually use to short it. So they had to fight to actually get, and it was a whole process. So that was a very complicated situation for them to accomplish. Once again, they made billions of dollars off of that. So that was another extremely impressive feat for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think we interviewed a few people that some impressive. I thought you were gonna give them insight to one of the illest trades that I've heard in person. We just witnessed with the gentleman you said, Dave Barry.
Yeah, that wasn't really a trade. That was more so of an early acquisition of a company that went public. And
he sold shorts on it.
Yeah, but it was an angel investment.
Yeah, that's true.
That reached a level of them making a bunch of money, and then it was just then they would just had to just sell it. They didn't necessarily trade it. It was more so in a position of just unloading their position once they already.
Would it be in your highlight though?
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
definitely. For sure.
I got an honorable mention highlight when you're done. Can I put an honorable mention highlight in your category? What do you think about Bill Ackman? I thought about him.
Yeah, Bill.
But his COVID move that he did when he went on CNBC,
even though it was wrong, but
it was $6 billion in a day.
Yeah, you can't argue with the number.
That was ridiculous.
You can't argue with the number.
I watched him break down and nearly almost into tears.
Yeah,
just to realize that it was kind of staged to a point where he's gonna use it to his advantage. And he definitely did $6 billion after. So
he delivered alpha. He delivered. He did what he was supposed to do for his clients. It wasn't illegal, but maybe immoral. But in business, a lot of things are right on that line. So
yeah, he walked that line.
Yeah. $6 billion a day, not bad though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. There's a few.
Get your tickets to InvestFest. Maybe we can ask Robert Smith, which is one of his favorite trades, and Mike Novogratz and Kathy, and what other billionaires going to be there? And Deca millionaires, and Centurion millionaires. We got Steve Harvey. Low key, Steve Harvey last year gave us the 35-to-1 risk to reward ratio from Vegas. Like those, some gems like the people I think are sleeping on that some of the greatest investors and traders end up using for their portfolio and for their wealth building.
Well, the wealth count for InvestFest, we have 3 confirmed billionaires: Diddy, Robert Smith, and Mike Novogratz. I would say just underneath them, in the high 9-figure range, would be Junior Bridgman, Kathy Wood, for sure. I would say also in the 9-figure range, if I was to guess, would be Rich Paul, probably.
SH.
Steve Harvey, for sure. He's in the 9-figure range.
That's crazy.
It's inspiring, man.
And then you got Don Peoples III, who just by default, but he's actually not by default. He's actually running the enterprise right now. That's Don Peoples' son. And Don Peoples is a billionaire.
Yeah.
So
Well, we know Chris Paul is 9 figures.
Chris Paul's definitely in the 9-figure range
We
for
know
sure.
that.
CJ McCullough
We know
Yep.
that.
is in the 9. CJ McCullough's actually on his way to becoming a billionaire.
Billionaire. He'll be there soon.
So he's in there for sure.
Lot of net worth in here.
Absolutely.
Just looking at this, there's a lot of net worth.
Monique Rodriguez. She's in the 9-figure
Shout
club.
out to Monique. Shout out to
You know who she is?
I'm familiar. Yeah.
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 Monique Rodriguez. She's a woman that sold her hair product company to L'Oreal, right?
to P&G.
P&G.
PNG. Okay.
Yeah, Procter and Gamble. So shout out to Mael Brands. Incredible.
Yeah. Cheryl McKissick is probably she's up there.
Icon up there.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you want to get wealthy, this probably is the best place to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's giving Salt Conference a run for their money. Hey,
Oh, Al Harrington,
Harrington.
Al Harrington and Baron Davis are definitely up there. They're up there for sure. Well, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
Get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets.